in Afghanistan? The answer. In Indochina and then in Vietnam, we have been unable to pass the lesson learned. Counterinsurgency have a certain number of rules. If we are unwilling to use these rules, we will lose. In Afghanistan, we will lose for the same reasons. In Indochina, we started to lose the day when Mao Zedong took power in Beijing. That is to say, the northern border was in direct contact with the communists who were providing direct support to the guerrilla. During the Vietnam War, the Ho Chi Minh Trail had been bombarded by thousands of bombs without effect. In Algeria, we militarily won because we had built 2 barrages regarding Tunisia and Morocco. We lost for political reasons. In Afghanistan today, if we don't control the border between Pakistan and Afghanistan, we will lose. We need to cut the support of any rebellion from outside support. It's basic rules, etc., etc. It's not me. It's the president of Israel, probably one of the strongest army in the world. What do you do against that? We have technological superiority, air power, marvelous object, but we are still organized to do what we have done during all the 20th century. That's a classical warfare. Impatience, refusal of casualties. Are we weak from being too strong? Yes. It's the reason why our adversaries are not stupid. It would be stupid, as Saddam Hussein was, to accept a direct classical confrontation with the US forces. No, you need to disappear to avoid what the Taliban are doing, and then to go back in the back of our forces, on our weak points, on our convoys, using terrorist techniques in order to shoot at us and to inflict casualties using improvised IEDs, explosive devices, etc. I would be the terrorist or the rebels. I use it necessary to use rebel techniques. If we are not adapted, if we are not willing to be adapted to this kind of war, it's necessary to depart. The comprehensive approach. That is what I lived when I was J5 in Afghanistan. You see, the power. The high rep was Mr. Carl Bildt, former prime minister, currently prime minister of Sweden, current Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The high rep, an ambassador, special advisor to the German chancellor. Do you think that the NATO commander was waiting for order from the high rep? Let the political guys, we have no direct link of subordination. So NATO commander was receiving orders from the capitals, from Washington, etc. EU doing nothing but paying everybody. The money at the Commission. The Commission was not under the order of NATO, neither of the order of the IREP. The UN was in charge of the police. He has lost power in Yugoslavia. He was not willing to abandon this and this. This UNHCR. Do you think that the UNHCR, Misty Zogata, the small, tiny Chinese lady, charming, but dreaming, flying, overflying, great heart, but not adjusted to the reality of displaced and refugees, displaced persons. And then, in order to organize election, because we were willing to give back to normality, OSCE in charge of organizing elections. So without goodwill, nothing. You can duplicate that exactly in Afghanistan today. Now, we have no unity of action. We have no unity of command, even inside NATO. General McChrystal is receiving orders from General Petraeus, Tampa, and from Amiral Stavridis, Secure. He has two bosses, only in the military. And the UN special representative, do you think he's waiting for orders coming from NATO or from, no, etc. And the NGOs, do you think that they are ready to obey to the order of the military commander? No, etc., etc. So the big problem is there. The comprehensive approach in international intervention is not applicable. What kind of conflict for tomorrow? That would be there. Probably war among population in an urban environment, and we are not adapted to that. And also, more and more, the strategic couple, what I call the strategic couple, let's say at the platoon and company level, the actions have more impact than any directive or direction orders given by the commanding general. Yep. What should we do? Well, plenty of things, but I will just only underline two. Develop the culture of adaptations, and facilitate and encourage initiative. If we facilitate and encourage initiative, that means that we give part of the burden to the execution level and not to the commanding general. Difficult. Culture of adaptation, but because with one army, you have to go there in the dust, in the sand, in the wind, Abéché Airport, that's the control tower. And when you have sand wind like this, in the snow, Afghanistan, in the mud during the rainy season, expert, with advanced technology, because the rainy season is there and you cannot land. So no C-116. Again, these kind of troops, again, these kind of, they have no problem to move. So what choice? Is it necessary to make symmetric or asymmetric warfare? We need to know both. Sovereignty mission, of course, in order to control our country, etc., etc. And which means the complexity of training in the modern armies today is very large. So we need to have forces able to punch, that is a professional soldier, highly trained. You need at the same time to have what I call stabilization professional, which means probably draftees with a special enlistment that we had in Yugoslavia, probably with coming from the civilian society with probably more finesse, more adaptation. And we need a special police, a military police, not in the terms of military police regarding Anglo-Saxon reference, but like a gendarmerie, that is to say officers who have judicial power for inquiries directly linked with the judicial system, but who have also enough training and enough organization to be possible for them to be protected as soldiers. Gendarmerie or carabinieri is probably what we need also. Because now the use of force is not permitted